We good? Welcome back to the Better Horizons podcast. This is episode 3, and my guest today is a we became friends recently, and somebody that I really like talking to, and somebody that's really just opening opportunities up for the city. And
Absolutely.
this is my guy DJEZ.
What's up, brother?
Thanks for letting me pull up today. Where are we at today?
We are at Radio 1 Cincinnati, 705 Central Avenue, I believe that's what it is.
Yeah. So tell them about what got you started in the radio. I don't even know this story at all.
So it's a long story.
It's okay.
Well, I got to take you back. So in high school, I played college basketball, or not college basketball. I played high school basketball. Went to the Roger Bacon High School. I played varsity as a freshman there. Was real good. Our team went to the state Final Four my junior year, and then I was going to transfer to Woodward High School. I did end up transferring to Woodward High School. And my senior year, I found out that I had dilated cardiomyopathy in my heart. So I wasn't able to play basketball my senior year. So, that's a turning point.
Yeah.
A lot of people who play sports, they don't really know what is the next move that they want to do because they've spent so much time just playing sports, spending all their time just in whatever sport it is. So I learned that I needed to make a pivot. So my freshman year of college, I was trying to figure out where I was going to go to school. One thing led to another. I fell in love with the University of Akron. But at the University of Akron, they had a college-ran FM station that was ran by students, for students. And it was an FM station, and people in the city of Akron actually listened to the radio station. Hip hop, R&B, alternative music, kind of like Kiss 107, but they played a little bit of everything. Fell in love with the station. I fell in love with the general manager that was there, Paz. But it was a real cool dude. He just welcomed me to the station. And my freshman year, I started in college radio, and
Never had no aspirations prior to that.
No. I just thought it would be cool to be on the radio if I could talk and people could listen. I used to listen to Russ Parr. I used to listen to Tom Joyner, Elvis Duran. I listened to a whole bunch of radio people, but I never really saw myself in radio.
Okay. Well, that's kind of weird how it just kind of happened like that.
Yeah.
And so how did you make the jump from being on the Akron radio station to now you're in 101.1 The Wiz?
Yes.
Cincinnati's number one station.
The best, the biggest.
Yes. How'd you do that?
Well, while I was in college radio, I ended up working at the Cleveland station, our sister station, Z1079. So I actually had one of the personalities on to come and talk at our school. We would always have different people who were professionals. They would speak on how they got into the business. And I had met this lady, and we chopped it up for a little bit. She introduced me to her boss, and her boss liked me. He thought that I was real good at the job. He thought that I was new, I was young, I was a fresh talent. And he was like, well, we want to bring you up just as a board op and see a board operator and see if you can figure out the job, if you could be good at it. As I started, I learned that I actually was pretty good at it. I mean, I had already knew I was pretty good at it, just doing interviews, doing college radio, throwing concerts while I was in college, but getting to do it on a professional level and meeting some of the people who are the biggest people right now, I would say, in the country on Black Urban Radio, and being able to follow in their footsteps. That was huge. But that was my time in Cleveland. COVID happened, actually. COVID is what brought me back here to Cincinnati. I was in Cleveland for about 4 to 5 years, and I was getting ready to graduate in 2020. Was looking at different jobs so that I could still do my radio job in Cleveland, and then the whole world shut down. March 15th, 13th, somewhere around there in March. The whole world shut down. I'm getting ready to graduate. I have to come back home. Trying to figure out what the next move is. I didn't start working here until 2022. It's 2023, 2022 when I first started here, September 2020, 2022. And I'm just grateful to be back here ever since.
It sounds like you've had a lot of ups and downs
Yeah.
and a lot of like I feel like that's such a big part of anything, not even just music or I feel like just life in general. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have this point where you're so up and everything's going so great, and then you're just gonna end up right to
Yeah.
where it's like square one. You don't know what the hell you're gonna do. Like you had all this planned out in college, and then all of a sudden the world shuts down.
And I feel like that's just a part of life,
Mm-hmm.
the ups, the downs. It's like a roller coaster. If everything was just cruising straight, if you had no adversity in your life ever, would it be fun?
I
Like,
don't
would
think
it be
so.
fun?
I just made a video the other day about being perfect and like everything going perfect for
Yeah,
people. I don't feel like that would be a good life
I agree.
because I feel like the adversity has made so many people great. I feel like that makes people great is adversity.
If you know you can overcome adversity and you had a real tough time and then stuff starts to get better. You need those tough times for you to appreciate the great times that you're having.
And it sounds like you. One thing we touched on in my interview when we were talking on the Wiz was genuine relationships
Yes,
and just being a good person in general. It sounds like that got you pretty far in
absolutely.
radio because you just kind of met that lady and she liked you just
Yeah.
and that was just from being you and genuine. How important do you think that is for not just artists but for people to just build genuine relationships as opposed to only working relationships?
You never know when a person could impact your life or it could change your life. I've always tried to treat people the way I would want to be treated, even when nobody is watching. Because when nobody is watching, that's when you should be doing it the most. It's because people don't really get to see that. Like it's one thing I could always put on a pace for you right here while we're having a conversation. But if I'm not being the person that I think I am or I say that I am, outside of just these walls or when there's a spotlight on me, am I really being myself? And I try to always just live by myself or live by what I say or what I'm telling people or what I'm putting out into the interview.
That's so good because I feel like that's stuff we learn as a kid from our parents is well some of us is behind closed doors you need to be the same person you are,
Yeah.
and that's I've read books on it too. And like, you ever read 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson?
No, I haven't, but that sounds like a real nice
He
book.
he touches on that. Like, you just always got to have that face of,
Mm-hmm.
there is no mask. But to that, I feel like there's times and places where you need to put certain, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
blending in. But we won't get too far into
No,
that.
it's okay.
But I feel like that's really inspirational just for me for you saying that is you're the same person behind closed doors for everybody on and off the radio. Like
Life's too fake. I feel like
that's such a good attitude.
people are the world perception of the mind is a real thing, but just be yourself. Like it's too much fakeness, too much, oh, I want to look like the cool guy. The one thing I feel like here in Cincinnati is big on community advocacy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
no one person is a celebrity here because we're one big community and a lot of us have grown up around each other and we're still here and we're still fighting a good fight and still trying to make Cincinnati a better place. So community advocacy, how can we all work together to make Cincinnati a better, bigger place here in the future?
I feel like everybody gatekeeps information these days too.
Yeah,
Like, so if everybody has opportunities that could help everybody, and I feel like everybody just doesn't, and that's such an attitude we need to get out of.
I
Not
agree.
just Cincinnati, everybody. Like you all, you've said this since day one. Everybody feels like they're bigger than they are. Nobody wants to treat each other like celebrities because everybody thinks that they are the celebrity.
Yep.
But just imagine if everybody, like all the artists got together, anybody trying to do anything, they all got together and just every information that everyone knows they gave it to each other.
And tried to help and tried to push the culture and push each other forward. It would be Cincinnati would look like a real different place. And I think we're starting to get to that as time has prevailed, but we still got a long way to go.
We do. And something from you also that I've never seen in however long I've been doing music, I've never seen a DJ that's so willing to help people get on the radio? Because that's that was like a childhood dream for me. Like there was a memory that popped up on my Facebook probably, I think it was like 10 years ago, and it was just a status that I put, and it was going to 101.1 The Wiz today, wish me luck. And I don't even know what I did when I got here 10 years ago, but like obviously I wasn't on the radio. And that's what's so crazy to me about you is like I've heard of so many artists from Cincinnati just from you. And like I'm not gonna lie, not everybody's good, not everybody's great, but it's just the fact that you're doing that for people. Like I don't think you even realize how much that touches an artist. Like that touched my soul, dude. I cried and shit.
Well, I appreciate it. And I just appreciate you being genuine and pulling up and just going hard for something that you believe in. The other thing is, a lot of people aren't doing the best things out here. A lot of people are trying to find a hobby to get into, or they're trying to find something to better themselves in. And just being able to interview people, with being able to have conversations and just talk to them and see what people are trying to do. The one thing I get from artists and people who just aren't doing or are trying to better themselves or trying to better their lives or trying to go further with this is just the one thing that they do that they feel like they're actually good at, or they can put some time into, or put time into their craft, or it's a hobby for them. It's something that they're doing that they're trying to better themselves at. And I feel like when you look at it from that picture or from that side, you would be more willing to try to help people get where they're going.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like especially when it feels like a hobby, like I feel like people think too hard into the like they want to make the money and they want to have all the followers, and that's good. That's like all great. It comes with it, but imagine if it still felt like a hobby when you're that big.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's when the greatest, like people who are having fun and it doesn't feel like a job, it just prospers so much.
Those are the ones.
That leads into another question I wanted to ask you is like competition, and how important do you feel like it is to put yourself around people that are better than you?
Oh, I feel like that's the biggest thing that you need to do.
I feel like that's something people are afraid to do now, is being around people that are better than you.
Big fish, small pond.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to be a big fish in a small pond. I've always wanted to be with people who are doing stuff that I aspire to do. And I would love to get around them, understand how they're doing it, ask questions, and then build that for myself. But I've always wanted to excel and keep excelling. I've never wanted to be stagnant, and I've never wanted to feel like I'm the biggest person in the world and there's no room for improvement. If you don't have competition, if you don't have people that you aspire or you look up to, or you want to be as good as them, or if not better than them, or you have those people that are in your circle that are better than you, I feel like you need to get around. You need to get a new circle, or you need to get around some new individuals.
I feel like when people act like they know it all and they don't get around, they try to be the best and the biggest, they lose their self.
Yep.
And like, you're never going to be good or great. Sorry. You're never going to be great, rather, if you're not around people that are doing bigger and better things. Like I feel like social media has ruined that too, because I feel like that's a lot of the leading causes for people. Like the normal person, I feel like, looks at social media and Instagram and they're scrolling and they see all these people that are doing great things, and it just absolutely destroys their brain.
The problem is we're all main characters. When you stop looking at yourself as like a side character or an NPC, and you start looking at yourself like, I'm a main character and everything that is happening in my life is basically a huge storyline. It's a soap opera, it's a book, it's a TV show, it's a docuseries, but you are the main star in your show. So treat it like it is a show. Whether it is, we're working a BS job at the moment, and this is clearly a filler episode and there's nothing really going on. Treat your life like it's an actual story. I don't mean like GTA and going and killing people, but like treat your life like it's a story, or it's a soap opera, it's a TV show, it's something like that. And live it to the fullest. I feel like people should do that more.
People definitely sleep on themselves.
I agree.
When people are how do you feel like people are trying to compare themselves to other people, and you feel like they should just get off the social media, or you feel like they should learn to deal with it mentally?
I would say compartmentalize. Everybody's only showing
Fake.
the best parts of their life. Nobody's getting on here, and if you're doing this, you shouldn't. The worst type of people are the people that set the camera up and then they're already crying, but then
dude, I can't.
Why are you crying on social media? Like, it's crazy.
Or like people that, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to call nobody out. Sorry if you've ever done it, but like the people that will post themselves in the hospital, wired up and shit.
They got their armband. Like, come on, bro, you look crazy. Like, you'll post that, but you won't post your accolades, or you won't post like the best things that are happening to you. I think we have to do a better job of compartmentalizing. Everybody is living, even the people that are living, quote unquote, their best lives, you have no idea what that person goes through on a day-to-day basis to live the life that they're living, or vice versa. I don't know what it takes to be Breezy Propane. I don't know you don't know what it takes to be Easy.
I don't. But that's good. That's good. You surround yourself with each other, and then your guys, I feel like our talents will definitely, it helps, it helps. Like, you get around people who are in the radio, you get around people who are in the TV.
Yep.
You just, that goes back to us saying, being around different people. Like, you can't look at these people like competition. You got to look at these people like this is my dude for real. Like, this dude.
My guy.
This dude, like I said it before, I'm going to say it again, dude. That was a big, big thing for me just in my small ass town, for people to hear me on the radio. Like, that was big. And it's so normal that's a crazy thing though, is like once it happens it's so normal after that, and you chase that. I want to feel that again, where it was like that big moment of being on the radio, but now it's just like I send it to him and I hear it and I'm like, this is fucking cool, it's dope, but I'm not sitting there like, yeah, like, I hate that. I miss that feeling.
You take that feeling and you like, wow, I want to feel that again. Mm-hmm. I want to feel that on a consistent basis, but how can I feel that on a consistent basis? I think just continuing to be yourself and just be genuine and build those relationships, I feel like that can take you a long way. Sometimes having the job or being ready or having the knowledge or the skills, it can't take you. Just being a good person can take you way farther.
That's a good point too. Being a good person will take you very far away. I had a couple questions. Real quick. I did these in the car. Who helped you the most getting you in the position you're in now, you think? Just in general, broad spectrum, anybody that you feel like really helped you the most?
Well, I got in college radio, that was me, but I personally feel like I wouldn't be this far in professional radio if it wasn't for my guy, DJ Step One. DJ Step One, he made the call to my guy, DJ K Nice, when I was trying to get on in Cleveland to bring me on. They were looking to bring on a new person, a young person, and they felt that I was the guy. Now, mind you, Step One had never, ever met me in person ever. He just had heard me because he was listening to college radio one night randomly, and he was like, wow, this guy sounds real cool. Locked in with me on social media, and he invited me to come listen to his podcast. And one of the guys that was on the podcast was DJ K Nice. He worked at Z1079 in Cleveland before I had started. And a couple of weeks later, he called me back and said, hey, they want to hire you and bring you onto the team. Without going to that podcast that was at his house, I probably wouldn't even be in radio right now. Or I would still be trying to figure out how to get into radio. Or I might not even be in urban radio.
Is there like somebody you talk to when you're like having the mental blocks that you could just hit up on your phone or call and be like, damn, I got this problem? Like somebody you could vent to, or just that helped you mentally get through, like, because I know there was some bullshit you probably had to deal with that got you upset. But still, exactly. There's still stuff you go through. But like, I don't know, just somebody you could. I
gotta say, my girlfriend Courtney. She's really, really, really been there for me.
My fiance's name's Courtney.
Nice. Courtney, got a good one in. It's a Courtney thing. Yeah. Yeah, she real tough times. there was a time I had randomly just quit my job. Not randomly, but like I wasn't really in a good spot with the job. And I knew on the other side that there was just better and bigger opportunity. Mm-hmm. And she just was there, encouraging words, didn't really bat an eye. I'm still DJing, but like just being down and helping me and talking to me and encouraging me, just words of empowerment and words of encouragement are like a real thing. And it definitely does help, and it helps you to feel like you can do something. Imagine if your biggest supporter didn't feel like your biggest supporter, even in a time where you really needed them. Courtney was not that. She was my biggest supporter. She was down for me in my worst times. I'm blessed to be in a better situation than I ever have been, and probably making more money than I ever have been. And
that's always good.
I try to make sure she's well taken care of.
I feel like relationships can make or break
Absolutely.
You as a person. Like I feel like they can completely detriment your career, or they can just make it so much better. And like I'm in the same position. I've been in positions where I had nothing. I had quit jobs. And she always was just, what do you need? You need anything? Yeah. What do you need to talk about? Just vent to me. Like it's such a good feeling when you find that one that you can just,
it's not much of that out here. And then especially in a world where social media is always saying that people are cheating or doing this or doing that, or they're not loyal or they're not for you. I feel like it really makes not looking at social media a thing. It doesn't really make it real to me.
That doesn't justify relationships to me either. I've always been like that. I feel like you should keep your private life private.
I agree.
To an extent. And a lot of, like, it's hit or miss. Like, some people say you should post your relationship because they feel like that's their validation. But I feel like as long as you know that you're happy and you know that you would never do nothing.
Do what works for you.
Exactly. Just do, you know what I mean? Keep it pushing P.
Yeah.
People somebody you looked up to the most.
Somebody that I looked up to the most. I would have to say it would be my goddad, other than LeBron James himself.
You gotta go LeBron.
Because LeBron is great. I can't also say Kevin Samuels, because I was watching a lot of Kevin Samuels, but he was cool. He gave a lot of, I know he got a lot of hate, but he gave a lot of good advice, like a lot of good advice for what men, and I have a father, but these are conversations that I didn't have with my father. And I feel like he gave out a lot of gems that young men and older men need to be hearing. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Mm-hmm. But a lot of good advice that really resonates with me to this day. But I would also have to say my goddad. He just has always made sure, just as a man, that I was doing the things that I was supposed to be doing, whether it was for my woman or just for myself. Shouts out Neil Norman. I wouldn't be the man I am today without him.
Shouts out. I'd have to go LeBron James.
I love
LeBron James. LeBron James. Nah, I feel like looking up to people, you can take that two different ways. Like, it's good to look up to people. Like, I think my number one wasn't LeBron James, but he was definitely top 5.
LeBron is up there.
But I have to go with, like, I already talked about him once, but Jordan Peterson, because you touched on such a good point of, like, you have a dad, I have a dad, and I'm still very close to him to this day. But I feel like me and my dad's relationship was kind of different. Like, he didn't really teach me the manly things, not like masculine, but like there's little shit, like making your bed, cleaning your room, and like taking care of your image. Like, he never really, and I feel like Jordan Peterson, when I started reading his books, he was like that. Like, I don't know. I feel
they give you those little tidbits that you didn't think about yourself, or conversations that, you should have with your father that you probably hadn't had. I know, at least with me, I hadn't had conversations like this with my father. And I was like, wow, these are great conversations and they're healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never had anything like that with my dad either. Did you ever have, this isn't a question I had on here, but I just thought about it. Did you ever deal with, like, maybe not personally, but just in your life, addiction? Did you ever see it, or were you around it?
I don't know. I can't really say that I've really seen anybody that was really addicted to anything. Worst case scenario, I might be addicted to the green though. though.
You can't. You might be addicted.
The icky green.
So you're voting on issue whatever it is.
I'm definitely voting on that, and I'm voting. I'm voting yes.
Yes, I'm voting absolutely 100%. Yes, I love weed, dude. You can't go wrong with weed.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is about your job if you can talk about it or not.
I mean, I probably can. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, man. I feel like that's a tender subject too, because people say you can't get addicted to that, but
I feel like
I beg to differ.
I feel like you can stop. I feel like what people really get addicted to is the tobacco. That's if you're rolling, because I like a good game or a good swisher, but like when I have to go to paper, it kind of, I feel like, and I know it's the wrong thing to say, but I feel like it's like diet weed.
It is. It definitely is. Or like when people try to tell you to go buy CBD.
Yeah, it's like it's just not doing it for me.
It's not, and people swear by it.
It's cool, don't get me wrong, like, yeah, I'm not getting all of the other stuff that I'm supposed to. It's getting rid of all of the shitty stuff for you, but like, it's something about that like nicotine that just hits a little bit harder with the weed. Like, oh no, man.
Dude, I feel like when you hit the papers, it doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I know this sounds fucked up, but I love that. When it hurts,
yep.
I know that's a good ass hit. When you're coughing and you feel like you need a fucking inhaler.
That shit, that's when it's like, wow.
How long we been going, babe? 27. Oh, that's pretty good. I had another question. Besides W or L today for the Bengals.
Oh, obvious W.
Obvious.
I'm always W.
Fuck Seattle.
Fuck them.
Fuck the Seahawks. But do you listen to podcasts or anything?
Yeah, I would say I listen to Brilliant Idiots.
Never heard of it.
It is Charlamagne the Guy, and I can't think of his other guy.
I love Charlamagne. I want to meet that motherfucker one day. I want to meet him bad.
It's a good podcast. It's probably about it right now. I haven't really been listening to. I really was listening to Kevin Samuels like real heavy, and then he died, and then like I got a little sad.
No, I'm not laughing, but
nah, it's okay.
You get a little sad. Death usually ends the trend.
He went out like a legend, but you know,
I know who he is, but I don't know his like whole spiel.
He just really gave out good advice. He got a lot of hate on social media because of the way he would talk to women, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the way he was talking to women. I feel like he could have handled that a little bit better. But the overall message of what he was talking about as far as what men were supposed to be doing and how men should carry themselves, I agree with that message.
Kind of like the Top G.
Yeah, yep. There you go.
What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Dude that just got arrested. He got arrested for sex trafficking. Come on, babe. What is it? Tristan Tate. Or
Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Yep.
Andrew Tate. Yeah. He's I don't think he's very good with the women, but I think he gives out good advice.
He gives out advice for men. I don't know. I can't really relate on the women's side.
Me either. I'm talking about like he's just like you said about Kevin Samuels, he kind of said shit about women where you're just like,
whoa, brother. I don't agree with that one, but like I agree with majority of the stuff that you're.
What about your message to the youth?
My message to the youth is keep going. I mean, you're young. This is the youngest you'll ever be. Experiment. Go take that test. Go get that trade. Go start a podcast. Pick up an instrument. Whatever it is that you want to do out here and you have an idea about it, just do it. Go for it. Don't wait for anybody to try to help you. Don't wait for your friend to get involved. You go for it. You execute it. And execution is, I would say, my next thing. Once you go for it, start to execute. Once you have the plan, go execute it. A lot of people aren't executing what they say they want to do or what they want to be out here. And you can go and be that, whatever it is.
And people try to say like the manifestation, I believe 100%, I believe it. But I feel like people get it misconstrued like manifestation is just you talk about it and you can just sit there and wait for it.
Yep.
It'll fucking come. 40 years later, it didn't come.
You got to do something about it. You have to act. Okay, you said it out into the world, but now you have to make those steps to actually make it into fruition. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Damn right. Well, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you
doing the pod with me. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and you're a good ass dude, bro.
We're only going up. We're only going up further.
And this, hopefully, this conversation in a year is different.
Oh, it will be.
It will be. I appreciate you, Easy.
Appreciate you.
Better Horizons podcast. We're out.